Hello, students. It's good to see you. Nice job on the quiz about India. Hey, I was looking at the results and I noticed that some people are a little bit confused, and a lot of people actually got all of the questions right. And you can tell if you got it right because you should be able to see your score if you go back to the test, which was last Friday. Some people got the questions wrong, and I actually gave you permission to take the quiz up to 5 times. So I want to go over the questions that a lot of people got wrong, and I want to give you a chance to get a better score. So your directions are to listen to this video and to read the slides along with me, and then take the quiz again if you got some questions wrong. I think that will help improve your grade. So I'm gonna give you another chance. Okay, so one question that a lot of people got wrong was this one. It was according to the text, which animal lives in the mangrove forest? So let's be really clear. The answer was in the text. So you either had to remember what was in the text or go back to it. And you're allowed to use your notes and any information you want while you're taking this test. So the text says here, it's kind of hard to read, but I'm going to read it for you. It says Bengal tigers live in the mangrove forests along the Bay of Bengal. So the answer was tigers. And the Bay of Bengal is here. We can remember from the map work that we did that the Bay of Bengal is on the eastern side of India. Bangladesh is a neighbor, and the Bay of Bengal is here. And in this region, there's lots of mangrove forests. Mangroves are really cool because they're these like trees with a lot of roots that you can see that are above the water, and they grow together and they make islands, and then they actually make their roots help make dirt, and then lots of animals live in that region. If you want to see mangroves in the United States, you can go to Florida. You can go kind of in the southeast region of the United States is where I've seen a lot of mangroves, especially in Florida and especially in southern Florida. Once I went to the Florida Keys and I saw a lot of mangroves. And so the text says India is also home to the world's largest mangrove forest. Here, tigers swim with sea turtles, sharks, and crocodiles. So the answer was tigers, and there's also turtles, sharks, and crocodiles. Okay, so this question actually tricked about half of the people who took the test. So if that tricked you, I'd like you to go back and select the right answer for that. Some people got stuck on this one. Do tigers and lions both live in India? In the text, it says many kinds of animals live in India. It is the only country in the world with both lions and tigers. So yes, both lions and tigers do live there. So go back and fix that if you got that wrong. Okay, what happens during the monsoon season? This is very important, and it's so important that we're going to watch a little 3-minute video about the monsoon. I think it's really important because here in the United States, we don't have a season like the monsoon season. We have our winter season in Minnesota with the snow. We have our summer where it's hot and humid. We don't have something like the monsoon season. Monsoons are 3 months of rain, like a lot of rain. You've probably never seen so much rain because it lasts for months and months. So let's watch this video. I hope it'll work, and we'll learn about the monsoons.
It is perhaps India's most precious commodity. It inspires legends and poetry, dance and song. Water. It is a powerful symbol of life in South Asia, and for good reason. In a land that relies heavily on agriculture, the chronic lack of rain is a constant hardship. Water is only used for the absolute essentials, but even then it is hard to come by. In Rajasthan, these women walk 3 miles to bring water to their village. By May, the wells are almost dry. India anxiously awaits the summer monsoon, with its 3 months of life-giving rain. monsoon, with its 3 months of life-giving rain. Only a good and timely monsoon can ward off the specters of drought and famine. While meteorologists try to predict its exact arrival, the rest of India makes last-minute preparations. Along the coast, fishermen make their final trips before being ordered ashore for the season. In the villages, umbrella menders ply their trade. In Calcutta, workers ready ancient sewers for the deluge. And a deluge it is. It will rain on and off, but mostly on, for 90 days. During that time, South Asia will receive nearly 80% of its annual precipitation. In the countryside, farmers plant rice in the wet fields. In the villages, life goes on, with umbrellas. Even city dwellers welcome the rain and shrug off the inconvenience. The foothills of the towering Himalaya are witness to extremes of the monsoon drama. The mountain town of Cherrapunji is known as one of the wettest places on Earth. The weekly rainfall is measured in feet rather than inches. The water swelling the neighboring streams and rivers will help to sustain India for the rest of the year. Yet the monsoon has a darker side as well. The rain streaming down the mountains often contributes to landslides and swollen rivers. In the delta regions of northern India and Bangladesh, where the rivers meet the rising sea, there is widespread flooding. This threat of destruction does not keep South Asia from welcoming the monsoon. For the people, the rains provide not just an end to parched earth and dry wells, but also a tonic for the soul.
Okay, so the main idea I got from that is that normally in India it's very dry, except for in the summer months, so like May, June, July. So there's a risk when it's so rainy that there will be floods and landslides, but it also really helps India because it helps the farmers. And it, during the rest of the year, it's very dry. It can be very hot. So it's good to have the rainy season. If you didn't have the rainy season, then nothing would grow. So I really want us to understand that the monsoon is seen as a positive thing, even though for us, like 3 months of rain would be like a lot of rain. So that's something special about India I want you to remember. Okay, the last, almost last one is about the money. Some of you, I don't think you got to the last page of the text where it talked about the money, the currency. The money is called rupee, and I did some research on the rupee. The symbol of the rupee is like this. So that's what they use to symbolize rupee. I looked up like how much is a rupee worth? A rupee is worth about one penny. So if you had 100 rupees, it would be $1. The rupees, like this is $100 rupee, and it has a picture of Gandhi on it. This would be worth about $1. There's also rupee coins. Then there's different amounts of rupee. You might have 20 rupee here. It's hard to see the rest of the numbers. I can tell the money is very colorful. In other countries, money is usually very, very colorful, whereas in the United States, it's just green and white and black. And then I can see they have different pictures on the rupee. So the currency is a rupee. If you missed that on the quiz, you should go back and try it again. Okay. Almost everyone knew that cows were important, but a few people missed it. So yes, cows are very important. And if you remember, the cow is connected to the idea of like Mother Earth, the goddess Aditi. And so in Hindu mythology, there's some pictures of like the gods riding on cows. Sometimes in India at different temples, there's a statue of a cow and people can like whisper prayers in the cow's ear. Sometimes in real life during festivals, Like, for example, during Diwali or during Holi, people might be praying to like live cows. So cows are important to the Hindu religion. If you missed that, go ahead and go back and try it again. Okay, so we've already listened to the video. Thank you. Now, please take the quiz again if you got any questions wrong. I'm looking for everyone to get all 6 questions right. The quiz is still open from last week, so thank you for doing that. Have a great day.